In the top stories, Deputy Prime Minister says government committed to housing expansion. JetBlue suspends flights to Haiti, and life-saving avalanche forecast could be hindered by Trump budget cuts. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Friday, March 7th, 2025. I'm Carla Berridge. We begin with news on the local scene. Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who oversees housing, provided an update on the construction of homes through a partnership with East Coast Housing Development. Speaking at the Prime Minister's press conference on Thursday, Dr. Hanley outlined the challenges encountered in delivering the homes.
As you know, as a country, we engage the East Coast Housing Development in assisting us in delivering some homes. Unfortunately, the 600 homes that we were anticipating, with all of the challenges that we might have been experiencing, not us so much as a government, but the investor, that has caused some delays. These matters are being worked on. And what I said to the Federation is that based on the contractual arrangement that we would have signed, the AG office, of course, is working on ensuring that the government's interest, which it is protected. But because of the delay, we have not lost any money as a government, but we are committed in continuing with our home delivery.
According to Dr. Hanley, the National Housing Corporation has built more than 100 homes since he took office.
To date, NHC would have completed and a few under construction, just about 140 homes, which is the highest based on the statistics that they have at the corporation that has ever happened within the 2-year and a 2.5-year span.
The Housing and Human Settlement Minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to increasing the housing stock in the Federation. Minister of Agriculture Honorable Samuel Duggins says St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to support agricultural production to help reduce the region's food import bill.
Because in our scope, we recognize there's no bad thing in increasing production within the country. Now, the truth is, we had two things that we were looking at the same time. One, growing our economy by virtue of increasing tourism and expanding the economy, but at the same time, increasing agricultural produce. And we recognize both have a direct impact on imports. Because if you have more people to feed, then you have more food required. And so we focus more on domestic production. And we had set a target, our own internal target of 50 million.
Minister Duggins praised the fisheries sector for its contributions to food production and sustainability.
Our fisheries sector alone brought in $19.6 million in revenue just last year alone. And that was a significant increase as opposed to when we got into office. The number on the books was 8.5 million. And you see, we would have doubled that revenue, more than double, over the last 2 years. We've seen significant increases in our livestock as well. And of course, we would have launched the largest planting program last year in the crop sector. Now, the bananas and pineapples that we planted last year are scheduled to be harvested throughout this year. Some of them are already in fruit. And we expect a bumper crop over the 2025 year. And I could tell you that we are very set when it comes to achieving that 50 million in revenue.
Duggins noted that while CARICOM has considered shifting the timeline for its agenda, efforts to boost food production and reduce the local and regional food import bill remain ongoing. He thanked those in the agriculture sector for their contributions and reaffirmed his support for increasing local food production. Minister Duggins shared these details while speaking at the Prime Minister's press conference on Thursday. And in other national news, the renovation work at the Kim Collins Stadium in Birdwalk is progressing. This despite delays caused by persistent rainfall in recent months. While the weather has been beneficial for agriculture, it has impacted construction timelines. Significant upgrades have already been completed as the building has undergone extensive renovations, including new seating, roof improvements, upgraded bathroom facilities, and a fresh coat of paint. Meanwhile, the track is in its final stage with only the final layer left to be laid. Minister of Sport, Honorable Samuel Duggins, said, quote, "In spite of the challenges, we remain steadfast in our commitment to delivering a top-tier facility that meets the needs of our athletes and the wider sporting community," end quote. And we move now to news on the regional scene. JetBlue Airways announced it will be extending its suspension of flights to Haiti's Toussaint Louverture International Airport in Port-au-Prince until at least June 11, 2025, due to ongoing civil unrest and safety concerns. The airline, which operates the only direct flights between Haiti and South Florida and New York, had previously suspended flights through April 30th, 2025. This extension comes just ahead of the expiration of the FAA's ban on U.S. commercial airlines set to end on March 12th. While Haiti's Les Cayes airport has completed renovations to handle international flights, the instability in Port-au-Prince, particularly near the main airport, continues to disrupt airline operations. Toussaint Louverture remains open, but it is restricted to foreign troops and aid organizations under a Kenya-led security mission. The airport has been closed to regular commercial flights since November 2024 after criminal gangs targeted U.S. jetliners. And in other regional news, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines announced on Thursday that Balicio Island has officially become part of the nation's patrimony. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves revealed the move to lawmakers, emphasizing the cultural and historical significance of the island. The acquisition, finalized as of Wednesday, was made under the Land Acquisition Act, allowing the Governor General to declare land for public use. In this case, the land on Balicio will be preserved as a cultural and historic memorial site. According to Gonsalves, the Governor General, acting on the advice of the Cabinet, has declared that the approximately 323-acre land located in the Grenadines will be vested in the Crown. This includes all rights to the land, water, and associated privileges. And on the international scene, officials in the western U.S. who warn the public about avalanches are sounding a different type of alarm. They say they're worried that the Trump administration, firing hundreds of meteorologists and other environmental scientists, could hinder life-saving forecasts that skiers and mounted drivers rely on. The forecasting work is crucial for skiers and climbers who flirt with danger when they travel through mountain gullies that are prone to slide. The forecasts are also used to protect the general public. Transportation officials use them to gauge the risk on well-traveled roads like one in Colorado, where a vehicle got pushed off the highway by a slide earlier this month. Fighting erupted in Syria's coastal region between forces loyal to the new government and fighters loyal to deposed President Bashar al-Assad, marking the worst violence since Assad's fall in December. Over 70 people have been killed, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, including 35 government troops, 32 Assad loyalists, and 4 civilians. The violence centers around the Al-Wait stronghold of Latakia, Homs, and Tartus, with a curfew imposed in these cities. The clashes involve ambushes on military checkpoints and ongoing resistance from former regime fighters who have taken refuge in the Latakia Mountains and Jablis City. Syrian forces reported killing around 70 former regime fighters and capturing 25 more. This violence is a significant challenge for interim President Ahmed al-Shara, who faces growing resistance, especially in the coastal region and the south. And now for the weather. Present weather is fair. Winds are calm from the east-southeast at 6 to 17 miles per hour, becoming variable or calm at times. Seas are 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for today predicts mostly sunny skies with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be mostly clear and cool with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Sunset today will be at 6:19 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:24 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Verge.